Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Reminders. I sent you a reminder app first thing.
Talk about on anyways, fine wine framework. Very interesting. Is that
What is the date?
April 2nd, 2022.
All right.
Fine wine framework. That was a great framework. That's funny. You know what's funny? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. You know what fine wine is? That's appreciation, one for one.
Yeah.
that silence
Yeah.
is so fascinating. Is that this is like a yo-yo framework in the sense that essentially your mind is capable of thinking. And another framework with the goal was to get back to silence. The goal was constantly be on parole of your thoughts and get back to silence. But this one, that's not the goal. It's a byproduct. Everything's a byproduct of this fucking framework. Every good thing is a byproduct of this framework. God damn. And essentially, it's like so you're watching from the perspective of God, and you're sipping, and everything's perfect, and the music's perfect, and the vision's perfect, and the trees are beautiful, and then you're having thoughts, you know what I mean? And the thoughts are beautiful too, just because you're thinking, you're human being thinking. But then you return to silence because it's like, well, that particular thought isn't as beautiful as the music of the trees. And then you sip the trees and the music like fine wine, and then your mind just becomes silent until it thinks of something else. And then that pattern repeats, and essentially either you appreciate it like fine wine, and it's a good thought, it's a cherished thought, as like, ooh, we should pursue this farther and appreciate our having it, or it's a thought, it's, that's beautiful, that's very pretty, I'm capable of thinking that. Rather they go back to the trees and the music, because they're more beautiful than this is not inherently at the moment useful thought. But it's still beautiful too, it's still perfect, it's still God's creation. Good googly moogly, my boy. Good googly moogly. Another potential byproduct is the lack of normalcy framework. Complete total lack of normalcy framework. The act of having a thought behind a human is so intrinsically bizarre. The ego should be viewed as thrashing. Just thrashing. Just ego is part of God's
What can I hear in the background?
Oh, Ryan's talking in the living room.
Hmm. I don't really mind that. I could get over that, but I feel like anyone listening, that's going to become horrific as far as like trying to understand that in the background with messages that are already hard to understand with overlaid commentary that's hard to like decipher which one's which. Like,
Yeah. Hey, I mean, if you want to wait a minute, then I could just like tell him.
what? I mean, I don't want. What's he doing? I mean, I don't know. Maybe just move over. Maybe would that work? Maybe like if he's standing right beside your room, maybe just like move into the kitchen. Maybe because like typically I don't feel like I can hear him that much. It sounds like there's like a TV playing in your room right now. Like the worst part is that I
It's
can.
really weird because it's not even that loud for me.
That is strange because I can almost make out what he's saying, which makes it worse because then it's like my brain's actively like trying to listen to him, which is like distracting me from like everything else going on, which I feel like is what's going to happen with the audience. Like I could get over this, but as far as on a recording, it's probably not a great way to
Yeah.
keep something preserved. But like, and you were saying you like objectively he's not that close. Oh wait, I think he just went away.
He's still talking right now, but
Is he farther away or something? Because it's much less pronounced.
I mean, he might be like walking around. He's quiet right now.
I couldn't hear him for the past 15 seconds. As long as it stays like this, we're completely good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, starting back up at the message at 4:45 p.m.
Very interesting is that phantom, that silence is so fascinating. Is this is like a yo-yo framework in the sense that essentially you're capable of thinking. And the framework with the goal was to get back to self. The goal was constantly be on parole, get back to self. But this one, that's not the goal. It's a byproduct. Everything's a byproduct of this fucking framework. Every good thing is a byproduct of this framework. God damn. And essentially, it's like so you're watching the perspective of God, and you're sitting, everything's perfect, and the music's perfect, and the vision's perfect, and the trees are beautiful, and then you're having thoughts, you know what I mean? And the thoughts are beautiful too, so you're thinking. But then you just return silence because it's like, well, that particular thought isn't as beautiful as the music of the trees. And then you shift the trees and the music of the fine line, and then your mind just becomes silent until it thinks of something else. And then the pattern repeats, and essentially you appreciate it like a fine line, and it's a good thought, it's a cherished thought, and we should pursue this further and appreciate our having it. Or is it thought, that's beautiful, it's very pretty, I'm capable of thinking it. We're going to go back to the trees and music because they're more beautiful than this is not inherently the moment useful thought, but it's still beautiful too, it's still perfect, it's still God's creation. Another thing my brother's last normalcy framework. See, the last normalcy framework. The last time you thought about humans is so expansion, insane expansion into every domain. It's like, it's beautiful, but it's not. It's not you. You are. You know, in a sense. I've never had a framework make me want to just absolutely fall out of beauty as often as this one has ever. It's just every 30 seconds. It's just like it's not like it's like when your eyes. The point is, it's like when your eyes well up. You know what I mean? It's like there's a fake layer of water over your vision, and there's just something because the normalcy is disintegrating so much. There's something inherently bizarre about like water seeping out of your vision to signify beauty. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful, and that makes your eyes well up. Then you're just like you're googling. It's thrashing. The thrashing part is so important. God damn it, it's so hard to explain. It's like there's something beautiful about the madness, the chaos. It's not just a lack of normalcy. It's not just like looking at, oh my gosh, it's just aliens. Oh wow, it's so weird. Water out of eyes. That's a monkey thing to do. Oh, that's a human. Oh, that's crazy. Not like that form of normalcy, the old form of normalcy. It's a new form of normalcy, which is like there isn't a pattern. It's not like life form. You can identify the life forms. If I was another form of alien, then this would be an inherently strange form. It's like regardless of form, it's just straight. It's all chaos. It's all the same kind of just patterns the same. And it's all beautiful. Music. It's not the goal is not to just like be the answer, appreciate music. The goal is to view the music as the chaos of being God. This is something interesting. Pattern in the sand changing, as in like every neurosecond, like every passage of time, there's technically a different sand pattern. I think, of course, like our universe is a sand pattern. Of course, that is one sand pattern. But within that sand pattern, there's a different line moving for each neurosecond of time, which indicates a separate pattern because each neurosecond is a different conception.
This is insane. So just to recap, right there, I just introduced appreciation with fine wine, just to immediately talk about rev limiter or feedback loop by talking about how the silence becomes chaos, and it's not a return to nothing, but that thoughts will inherently fade away because of their lack of utility in relation to greater thought textures, like, you know, God-type thought textures, interdimensional thought textures, if you want to return to that old framework. And then I say that repeated consumption of those interdimensional thought textures leads to a chaos and beauty in God, which is, like I said, the feedback loop, that's rev limiter. And then right from there, I talk about what I'm talking about in this voice message. Let's go back and listen to it real quick so I can...
This is something interesting. Pattern in the sand changing. As in like...
Yeah, that's just code daemon. That's literally like the whole thing I've been talking about, which is like framework determinism, or like the concept of like God as mathematics, which was like what a Cythriel is supposed to focus on with frameworks, is that frameworks aren't like mental things. They're like they only exist in relation to their physical correlates. So like the actual like binary code necessary to be put into the simulation to make that happen, like there's a literal series of code corresponding to that experience. And so the correct arrangement of numbers is the best possible framework outcome. And so whenever you're arranging frameworks, you're not like doing something mentally. You're literally just trying to arrange the best series of code like you would in a video game. There is a series of code which is the best, and that is what you are trying to align with, and that's like the whole entire code daemon framework. So right back to back here, and this short little span of voice messages, the first couple of voice messages we listen to here, we hear an introduction to appreciation, feedback loop, and code daemon. So all we need now is a Perion beam, and we're fucking cooking.
It's funny you call it feedback loop when you keep on repeating it throughout the years.
Yeah, that is also funny. That's a framework I've used before.
Passage of times, there's technically a different sand pattern. I think, of course, like our universe is a sand pattern, of course, that is one sand pattern. But within that sand pattern, there's a different line moving for each neurosecond of time, which indicates a separate pattern, because each neurosecond is a different conception of God, and that's super fascinating. You know, we get hundreds, thousands, really. I mean, based on neurosecond, probably like billions of grains of sand, individual grains of sand. So that's probably rare for life forms. Probably life forms to get one grain, simply one grain to exist. I was thinking about an interesting framework is just like viewing other people. It's just like imagine how many trillion computers there are, just like built themselves. There's a name for that. Cabs off brain or whatever the hell, first word's not right, but anyway, point is, a brain that builds itself. Imagine how many of those are on the infinite, of just like alone organisms that can't even like understand that there could be others, or do, and are lonely. And it's like, it's cool that we get to interact with other infinite beings, other gods. So, this is the most important one. This is the key. This is the key. Something is the key using it. It is that everything is thrashing. I cannot fucking explain that. That is the key. To understand that literally all of this is just fucking inane chaos. Literally
Real.
just, the only way the best way I explain it is gnashing on the boundaries of the boundless. Specifically, like that idea of just like, there's like, infinite means it always expanding. It means literally like there isn't a bubble of infinite. Infinite expands always in every direction. And it's like, to expand in every direction, there would be us. And it's like, we're not anything except just like, just the gnashing of the boundless. You know what I mean? Just like the mad expansion. Like if you were to feel what God feels like, it feels like an explosion, like the Big Bang moving outwards. It feels like just movement, primal movement. That's what God feels like. Is expansion in every possible direction. Simply growth, writhing, gnashing, beauty. That is the choice of existence. God is being which chose to exist. And what existence entails is every single pattern in the sand, every single infinite, and that goes forever in every direction. And we are simply the byproduct of that. You know what I mean? And there shouldn't be any normalcy in that. There shouldn't be any like, oh yeah, it should be constantly just in an ocean of chaos, and just understand exactly what this is, and not your place in the finite, like the old one. It's not that. It is that your place in the infinite. It's everything's place in the infinite. It's all in the same place. It's all just a grain of sand. And it's like the normalcy you experience isn't relative anymore. The normalcy you experience isn't relative to God or relative to alien species. The normalcy you experience now is the infinite. It is the infinite. It's precisely what the infinite feels. Gnashing, chaos, just writhing, absolute movement, pure, unbridled movement. Movement. That's the only word. Movement. Expansion.
Real.
I what you're saying. Recently, I've been I feel an intense sensation of dissociation with my identity and ego, where it's just like I'm so far zoomed away from my mind.
That's funny. Literally, one of the suffixes I intended to use after appreciation for a second was appreciation dissociation.
It feels like these last few days have been focused on is just like zooming out of my brain and mind, and that's allowed me to see my mind move in different things. You were talking about movement. I felt that seeing the movement of like my brain and my mind in relation to the internet. These last few days very strange, very intense, and like if the best way to describe it is, it feels like I'm watching reality on the screen, like a television screen, and then I'm really not here right now. I'm like really AFK. The dude who's I'm just very much not here. Amplified to as much as it can be. What it's ever been before. I could not agree more. I was going to figure out how to explain that.
That framework that you talked about right there is one I call interdimensional.
1 second. All right, thank you. All right, go ahead.
I think I call it interdimensional vacation, or maybe there's a better word that rhymes with vacation, or whatever that word is. The point is the point of it is vacation, and the context is whenever you understand, quote unquote, understand that you are God, right? What that really means is just whenever you fully become the process of seeking the best thought texture, then you will feel like you're talking about so completely dissociated that the present moment literally feels like watching a movie, like what it feels like to watch The Wolf on Wall Street. You're not even yourself. You're just consuming and appreciating the pretty pictures as they fly by and the way they make you feel. And it's like that's what reality feels like, where it's like you're not even the one talking or like the one interacting with other people. You're just from a third person perspective, is that one framework you used the other day I was talking about, or just viewing, or is the phantom framework talking about you're viewing the situation from the thing so far behind any identification or language that all it can do is move towards appreciation and, like you were saying, dissociate from the present moment. Very interesting framework there. Been getting it a lot. Are you good, or do you need to go for using?
No, that was just dinner is ready. What is that the ending of my message?
Yes, I think it was. Let's see.
Another thing is what was I talking about? Reality.
What is it?
Just press play.
It was dissociation.
I was in my backyard. I was looking at a tree, and I was like, it's just a tree is like perfect visual description of probably the.
Wait, no, this was the one you were.
What you're saying. Recently, I've been I feel an intense sensation of dissociation with my identity and ego, where it's just like I'm so far zoomed away from my mind. That's what it feels like. These last few days have been focused on is just like zooming brain and mind. And that's
was that even the one? Yeah, it should be. But zoomed away, that's fine. I literally was just talking about in this call before that, talking about zooming out and getting scope. So that's very funny.
I what you're saying. Recently, I've been I feel an intense sensation of dissociation with my identity and ego, where it's just like I'm so far zoomed away from my mind. That's what it feels like. These last few days have been focused on is just like zooming out of my brain and mind, and that's allowed me to see my mind move in different things. You were talking about movement. I felt that seeing the movement of like my brain and my mind in relation to the internet. These last few days very strange, very intense, and like if the best way to describe it is, it feels like I'm watching reality on the screen, like a television screen, and that I'm really not here right now. I'm like really okay. The dude who's like, just very much not here. Amplified to as much extent as it can be. What it's ever been before. I could not agree more.
That was the whole message.
Yeah, yeah. I like the line, the dude who's very much not here.
Yeah, yeah. I like the on a screen because like that is exactly what it feels like. It truly just feels like you're just watching a fucking movie and you're so blasted out of your mind you don't even know who is watching the movie. There's just the movie unfolding.
The non-dual universe of just imagine each universe. As the universe grows, it's essentially a leaf on a tree, and that we as cells on this leaf can just look around and only see the leaf. As we are part of that leaf, we are part of this grown universe that grew from whatever ecological system is going on in the metaphysical realm that caused this. But visualize it's just this tree. This time I'm doing a tree form of non-dual description rather than lightning. Which is that each universe is just this natural, it's just a beautiful thing. It's like a flower. It's like each universe is just a flower that grows from whatever source makes it so ripe for us to be here. I just realized I don't know if we ever told him we would call him at 8. And he said that he would be able to call if he would get done with work at 8. It was very possible, like he's yeah, it's very possible we got like 30 minutes. And I had to say the fact that's more correct than some of the other things I've seen is baffling. It's just like these are the kind of people that we have to try and convince. It truly is cosmic. It's very interesting though, is that
Oh, for fuck's sake, Foxer, you piece of shit.
What was happening?
It was just we said like, yeah, these are people we have to convince. And then I was like, wait, what are we talking about? I bet there's a link or something I can see. And then I tried to scroll up and do it, and then it like backed out of the chat, so I have to scroll all the way the fuck up again.
But did it sound like we were glitching out to you?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but not bad.
Oh, weird. Yeah. Let's play the last message again whenever it's up.
It'll be a while. I'm still in fucking November. Cringe.
Oh, that's hilarious. Talking about the screen framework, talking about the man behind the moon framework. It's interesting. I was looking at the sky and I got this framework visual that I thought, like, if I reflect on this will probably be useful. But and it's funny how it connects to the man on the moon because it uses the moon. I was probably talking about the exact same thing. But I was looking at the moon and I was looking at, so it was a completely cloudy night, and I could see the moon behind the clouds. And as the clouds were moving, it created an illusion where it looked like either the moon was moving or the clouds were moving. And if I focused on the moon, then it looked like the moon was moving. If I focused on the clouds, then it looked like the clouds were moving. And I got the general idea, like that's sort of what's going on here. Is it like my actual awareness is completely still, rock solid in space, like the moon is. But because of the illusory nature of the stuff that's going around me, it looks like that thing is in motion, just moving around. And that I need to like, concentrate on like that stillness, that awareness, that appreciation itself, rather than the content of the experience, which will make it seem like I'm attached to that. Or if I attach to the clouds, then it looks like the moon is moving, when in fact it's just solid. And it has this idea of like in any moment, all of your thoughts and sensations and perceptions, all of that are the cloud moving, and you realize there's a layer underneath that, the layer underneath all perception, and that's just that solid still thing that's always been there, but you've been assuming that that's been flowing about with your ego, but really it's just it's been consistent. And I was just realizing how that's funny, because that's very much like the man on the moon behind the moon framework, and it was using the moon as that analogy. And I didn't realize that until now.
You definitely got to the same place religiously, what you were describing, basically. staying in that place and understanding what's behind it. I didn't understand exactly what you were visually describing with the moon and the clouds, but the end conclusion you reached is the man behind the moon and the man behind the framework are the same framework, which is just like it's basically the smoke bomb thing I was talking about, where it's like you just like instantly understand that you are not the thing which is happening, and so you are the one behind it, and so like you were saying, you have awareness, or you're the one appreciating, and so you are not that thing.
So, have you ever looked into the sky and you've seen a cloud and then you've seen like a star and it looks like for a second the star is moving, but then you look at the cloud and you realize, oh, it was just the cloud that was moving.
Explain that again.
So it's like there's a cloud moving across the sky, and at first it makes the star. Hello. Are you doing? No, I'm gonna call. Okay. Um. So there's cloud moving across the sky, and there's a star. For a second, it looks like the star is moving because, in ratio, your eyes are still on the star, and the cloud is moving in relation to the in relative space, and that causes the star to look like it's moving, it's floating. When in reality, it's just staying there still. But the cloud was moving, and that illusion of the cloud made it look like the star was moving.
I'm sure I could experience what you're talking about, but I don't like. I'm too retarded to like remember a time where I've experienced that. Or like I don't know. Like I feel like what you're saying makes sense and that it sounds like a plausible experience, but I cannot remember that experience ever happening to me. So like I don't understand. Like I can't imagine the perception of the star moving other than like the perception like I'm moving, like the feeling of like proprioception, like I'm moving because the cloud is creating a feeling of rotation, like whenever you feel like you're driving a car because you see a car beside you move, if that's what you're describing.
Not quite.
Hmm. I'm sure I could know. I'm sure if there was a moon and clouds nearby, I would know what you were talking about. Um,
Let's see if there's a visual of it, uh, but we can continue.
but yeah, I got what you're saying religiously, and that was true. But so, okay, I'm pulling up the messages on screen here. Um, I've got a bunch of exclamation marks, and that was after the
Fine wine.
fine wine reel. And then I've got a bunch of exclamation marks after this one.
This is something. It's from pattern the sand changing, as in like
Pattern in the sand changing. Okay, so that's Code Damon. And I've got exclamation mark after this one.
this is the most important one. This is the key. This is the key. Something is the key. It is that everything is thrashing. I cannot.
Everything is thrashing. That one was so good. The 2 minute 16-second one. I love that one. I say write this down. And I say in parentheses me, so I'm talking to myself. Become the mind behind the pattern. Thinking is thrashing. Ooh, that is clean. That's a clean little Voxer note right there. That's some nasty business right there. Become the mind behind the pattern. Thinking is thrashing. So it's almost like that thing that we were literally just talking about 5 seconds ago of going behind the frameworks, or being the man behind the moon, the man behind the frameworks, the man behind the individual thoughts. It's almost like that's the exact same thing I'm describing when I say become the mind behind the pattern. Thinking is thrashing. The mad pattern is the understanding of everything as smiles. So that would be like the understanding of like the pool baby smiling. The understanding of like the super smile, interdimensional Jesus. I just went full Asian. Interdimensional super smilers. That concept of like God manifests himself as a smile across infinity. So what God is not an external thing. God is the individuals within himself who understand their objective positioning. And so become the mind behind the pattern. Thinking is thrashing, is saying all instantiations of thought are just thrashing or movement or reaching towards the best thought texture. So that's a genius little voice. That's not a voice message. A genius little fucking written message there.
And if you look in chat, I found a perfect GIF for it.
In what chat?
Discord.
I don't know why I'm scrolled all the way up in our Discord chat. Like, how would that even happen? I'm literally all the way to the very tippy top of our Discord chat. So I'm like, I've set the mouse to the thing where it's scrolling down as fast as humanly possible, and it's still where I'm.
Is that where you
not
were last?
No. It's ridiculous.
That's fascinating.
So, like, what I don't understand. That doesn't make the moon look like it's moving to me.
Okay, well, okay, so if for a second, if you actually look at it, the GIF makes it seem like it's moving across the screen, with the relative motion. If like
Yeah.
it looks
Okay.
like it would be the
It
same.
looks like a baseball. A baseball getting thrown. I see it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I never would have seen that. Like, I've never naturally would have seen that for some reason. But yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like if you just, I was just looking up at the sky and my mind was focused on the moon, so it looked like, oh, so the moon is moving because the clouds are still, and if the clouds are still, then the moon must be the thing that's moving. And it's just like that short, and it's like that was a perception I had based on the short sight of my mind because of my limitation of consciousness assumed that the moon was the thing that was moving across the sky when in reality it was the clouds. Likewise, it's the content of my awareness that comes and goes and not my actual being.
Let me ponder upon that for a moment. Let me connect that visual. Yes, precisely.
Hi.
Yes, Trevor, you're exactly correct. That is a very good way to imagine that. Like, it's like literally translating the movement into awareness directly. Go ahead, Lexie.
Did you know that I almost passed out at breakfast
I did hear
today?
that. What caused that, do you think?
Apparently it was because I was on my period and haven't been drinking enough water.
Nice.
And because, like, your body's losing blood and it's trying to fill it back up, so.
You got.
Yeah, it was fun, and I threw up twice in a box, and Coach kept having to lift my head up and shaking me, telling me not to go to sleep, because, like, I was, like, actually
Like a
in and
heroin
out of it.
addict? Jesus
Yeah, like, my
Christ.
eyes were rolling back into my head, and Destiny had to, like, carry me over there because I kept collapsing in her arms. Yeah.
How did you not feel that you were that dehydrated?
Well, I didn't notice until I was running. And then I
Christ
almost passed
almighty.
out, and by then, Coach doesn't really let you go do anything, or so then I was trying to run, and we only had one left. And I was
Well,
about
hey,
to do
at
it.
least now you have an excuse to drink water whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You just say, hey, Coach, what, you want me passing out
Yeah,
again?
exactly.
Because, I mean, seriously, that is the most retarded thing ever. Any coach who says you can't get water whenever you want. And I get why he does it. It's because all the fatty boom baddies on the
Yeah,
team
the
are
middle
going to just
schoolers
sit
and
around
stuff.
drinking water
Yeah.
all fucking practice and going up a weight class.
Yeah.
But, Jesus. It's so stupid you can't get water when we're literally being forced to dead sprint. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Also, last night I had a lucid dream. Like, out of nowhere. Like, I was fully aware that I was in a dream. And have you ever heard that you're not, like, or if you ask someone in your dream what time it is, they, like, won't tell you?
No, I've never heard
Well,
that. But
I've seen it on, like, TikTok a couple times, so I guess I thought about it in my dream. And I asked a bunch of people what time it is, and they all started getting mad at me. Yeah.
Weird.
But it was weird, because I was, like, fully aware. I was controlling what I was doing in my dream, and it wasn't like I had tried to do that or anything.
So, what did you do once you got control? Did you, like, make a rocket launcher and kill the president, or what?
No, I was like, I was still like out of it. Like I don't think I was like.
That's what all my lucid dreams are like. Where it's like
Yeah.
I'm lucid, but that's actually just like a part of
Like
the dream.
I know I'm in the dream, but
Yeah.
like I can't make myself do like all the stuff that I wanted to.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another kind where it's like there's like a commentator behind the dream. Like
Yeah.
there's a thing making value judgments. Like it's saying things like that's cringe, that's dumb,
Yeah.
or like oh I like that, but it's not capable of actually stepping in and
Mhm.
shifting. Yeah.
Yeah, like letting you do actually what you want.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I get those
it was
all the
very
time.
weird. And like at one point, I almost woke up and I like didn't let myself because like I knew
staying
that
in a
I,
lucid
yeah,
dream?
it was
Yeah.
weird though.
Jesus, I bet that was because you were dehydrated too.
Probably.
Okay, and then this is another.
Oh, and I have staph infection.
That's what that is.
On my arm, that's what it is. On my ear, it's impetigo.
What? It's two different things?
Yeah.
Are they not related at all?
Nope.
How?
That's staph right there. And that's impetigo.
What the hell are the odds of that?
No idea.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Apparently, Trevor, Lexie's passing out, and then she also has two different skin conditions that are eating her flesh off of her body. They're completely different and not from the same thing, which is just like, well, that's great luck. That's some classic dingus circumstances.
Is it like two different symptoms of a similar
No,
cause?
no, that's the thing. She's she has one place on her ear where it's just like she's just like for no reason. There's just like a massive wound, and then another place on her arm, same thing for no reason. There's like a massive wound. Like it looks like you just like, you know, cut a large piece of skin off with a knife for no reason.
You need the soap, man. You need the soap. The antimicrobial soap to wash yourself.
But so anyways,
Yeah, the dingus children will think we were joking this whole time. I was like, no, when you get older, the curse will hit.
Oh yeah, Jesus, and God forbid, dude, there's 6 dingai in this location. Okay, so then this is a text message I left.
Wash your whole body in it.
What would you like, Mother? Yeah, it looks good. Oh yeah, you've gotten those before. They are good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the good one, but
It is.
there's one that's very good. Yeah,
That's
I think it is this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
They were selling them at TJ Maxx today. I found them at Aldi before that. They're just like a random pop-up thing.
Sweet.
Hey, guess what's in the refrigerator?
What's that?
There's 2 bags of spinach and 2 bags of white cheese.
Oh my God.
There's ice cream.
You need to put razor blades on the bags of spinach before someone puts them in, because someone will. I'm telling you, someone will put those in the freezer, and they will both go bad.
What was the other thing?
Pecans. You got pecans, and
Yes.
they were good. They were very good. Dude, yeah, like you said, whenever you bust them, ooh, that first day you bust that bag of pecans open, my lord,
I know, dude.
they're ridiculous.
But I didn't even think those were as fresh. Sometimes they are like almost soft, like not mushy, but like,
I know what you mean.
oh my God, sometimes they're amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need to like drive down to Georgia and get some this summer.
real. Trevor, are you a pecan enjoyer?
Oh yeah, I love those.
You betcha.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good on a salad.
Trevor is a massive mixed nut enjoyer. Trevor, what would your nut ranking be? Where would pecans go above cashews, peanuts, and other various?
I would say a pecan that's one of the high tiers. Like cashew does not compare. Peanut.
What
comes
else
close.
is in the high tier?
Peanut.
That's a very disgusting thing you just said.
I knew you were gonna be judgmental. What was it?
He ranked a peanut in the same category as a pecan.
Oh.
Which I understand that for you, that is your basically like, in other words, for you a peanut is your only equivalent of like bacon or like that like salty, greasy like a McDonald's burger. That's like your closest equivalent. So from a vegan perspective, that makes sense. But from a person who can eat meat, a peanut is a bad.
Well, I mean, even still, that's the most popular nut, and like my father really likes them as well.
But
And it's like,
when you just do so, this is the way I do all foods. I've said this for like
Did
a
you
year
try
now.
some raw cashews?
I don't like cashews at all. At all. They're nasty. Really, I don't like nuts. I just hate them. They're all disgusting to me, except pecans. I love pecans. Pecans are delicious.
I'm out.
All right, Roger that. Toodaloo. Peanuts. But like I said, there's 3 things that I rate all foods off of. It's how long does it take to prepare, and or what its price. That's interchangeable depending on whether you're shopping or eating. Then the next one is how good does it taste, and then the next one is how is it going to make you feel after you eat it. And everything gets ranked on those 3 things. A peanut is ready instantly. That's good. Okay. Its taste, it's okay, but it's not exceptional. I would rate a peanut's taste on the same level as about Cheez-It or a goldfish, where it's like this is acceptable. This is fully acceptable. There's no part of my mind which dislikes this. This is all like. However, or like I would honestly, like I said, I would go like if I was a vegan, I would rank like a McDonald's cheeseburger, where it's like this taste is good. It's fine. It's fine. There's nothing bad. There's nothing bad at the taste. I don't dislike this taste in any capacity. But then you go to the way it makes you feel, and it's like eating peanuts makes you feel like you just drank McDonald's air fryer grease. And then it's like, well, it's like a taste.
but do you think that might have something to do with the salt? Because you can get ones that are like extremely not salty, and some that are very salted.
That's true. That's true. And here's the issue with those. Then they just are worthless on taste. It's just like you take everything off of them, and then now their taste scale goes so far down that you just replace it with anything else, and you're better.
What do you think about the taste of peanut butter?
I'm honestly not the biggest peanut butter fan in the world, but I do think it has its purposes. 100%. I'm not a peanut butter hater. I can enjoy a good peanut butter and jelly. God knows.
I sort of like I like the fact that there's the peanut, and it's got its own taste. But then its aftertaste becomes peanut butter, and it's sort of like I got a two-in-one dealio.
It's terrible peanut butter. It's like the worst peanut butter conceivable. It's like you know how it's like I guess Trevor, that's like saying that like when you chew up a cacao seed, it becomes chocolate. It's like yeah, in your dreams, buddy.
I think this is a lot closer, but I get what you're saying.
I honestly would say that it's about the same level of closeness, or at least it's dark chocolate. Obviously not milk. Obviously, milk chocolate and a cacao are leagues away. But I would say a milk chocolate or a dark chocolate, a piece of dark chocolate, 85% dark chocolate, and a cacao seed chewed up, a little bit of a cacao seed, a very small portion of it. I would say that that is exactly as proportional as a peanut is to peanut butter.
You saying that made me remind me of that taste. That was fascinating.
Dude, that fruit stand, it was amazing. I'm sure that it's difficult now that like you don't live 5 feet away from it. But dude, if I were you, I would take advantage of that. If I lived as close as you do, oh my god, I would find a way to whip my parents and take me there every weekend. That is such an insane like, just like still to this day, I want to make a video on the alien fruits framework, which is just the concept of um the first time I tried all these alien fruits, what I realized after the end of the summer was that there's no moment at which things are as novel as you'd think they'd be. Like when you're a kid, you imagine like, or even me at like before I tried any of these alien fruits, I imagine like if I could just get my hands on a fruit that I'd never seen of or heard before, if I could eat a fruit from an alien planet, then I bet it would be so unbelievably novel that it would be a million times better than eating just like an apple. And then you do it, and it's like it's not that novel. Like it's like instantly as soon as you take a bite of it, you're like, yep, this is another kind of fruit. It's like basically when you bite into it, what you think of is like not, oh my god, this is insane. What you think of is like, yeah, that's like kind of like a raspberry and a banana if I had a hint of mango and it was a little bit more watery. You know what I mean? It's just like, yep, that seems like a completely reasonable fruit to grow on this planet. That tastes reasonable. You know what? Honestly, it tastes good, but it's not. You're never like, my mind is blown at the complete and total uniqueness of this flavor palette and how it's not comparable to any other textures or flavors. You know what I mean? It's like that's what you'd expect. You would expect like an explosion of novelty, and instead it's just like a slight tweak on the typical fruits you've already experienced. And in realizing that, it did not make me devalue the alien fruits. It made me value regular fruits because I realized that
Yeah.
they are just as alien as any of those alien fruits were. And in the same way, when I take a bite of alien fruit and I intentionally run the framework of I've never had this before, I could do that to any other fruit at any other point in my life, and it would become just as novel and just as delicious. And the alien fruit is not more delicious because it's alien. And it's only more delicious because I'm placing value on it, and I can place that same value on fruits in everyday life just by understanding them as equally alien by removing my like uh, um, 19-year-old American perspective and just going to a larger perspective, like a God perspective or a history perspective or anything like that. Um,
It's funny you say it because like I have a similar insight, but it is actually the exact opposite. Um, uh, it definitely works for the fruit. I would like to see your comparison on this to see where it folds in. But um, so we were going hiking the other day, and I was trying to framework the trees and nature and all that good stuff to be as alien as possible. And just like the good old days of like 2 years ago when I was just getting the frameworks and stuff, I would go on hikes and I'd be like, oh, look at this natural environment around me. I can convert this environment that I think of as normal, that I think of as a natural environment, but I'm going to think about it in comparison to an alien environment and see how this thing that's normal is actually really alien. And so I'm creating this model of alien and novelty to compare it to so that the normal thing is exaggerated and amplified. But what I've noticed as time goes on is that model, as the model itself disappears, this alien novel model over reality, but also the mundane normalness also goes away. And all that's really left is just sort of the model I was trying to put on reality. All the normalness in modern day, all the normalness and mundanity is gone away. And whenever I'm hiking, I'm literally just like in awe of like the actual alien forest that I just crash landed in with my spaceship. Like seeing palms stretched out and dead spirally branches and moss grow on flowers, and it's just like it whereas before I need to be like, that thing looks really cool, I need to framework it and realize it's alien. Now it's just like, oh my god, that actually is alien. Like I didn't need to pretend; it actually just is. Um, and I thought that was a very interesting sort of framework evolution where like before I needed to pretend, and now it's just like, yeah, you don't need to pretend. It just is that way. Um, but I guess to fold that in with yours, it's not to say that like the taste of the fruit goes away or it becomes worse. It's just well, from what I just said, how did like I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it's also like the complete opposite inside, if you see what I'm saying.
I don't see how it's opposite. I would see it as exactly the same.
What I was saying is like the alien model was like it I did increase the alien novelty of the experience. Um, but I guess you were saying the fruit was not gained any alien novelty.
No,
Um,
no, I was saying that the alien novelty that is applied to the new fruit is not because the fruit is novel. It is because you are thinking of it as novel, and that novelty can be applied to the regular fruit that you eat in your daily life. So it's not the point is not to not view the alien fruit as novel or the like. But the point is instead to view your daily life fruit as equally as alien because you're zooming far enough out that the alienness becomes inherent in all things, which I think is exactly what you're saying with the environment.
yeah, yeah. On a
Uh, Go ahead.
on a sub-related note, just real quick, interesting phenomenon. We were out hiking the other day, and we were on a place near an island, so it was very water, it was very wet, very creepy crawly. It's where the reptiles hang out, and I was walking along the trail a little bit off to the right, and and then my father says like, "Whoa!" And then I look down and I see um what had to have been like a 3 foot like rattlesnake, just like chilling, um, right next to the trail, and I was just walking along it and didn't happen to notice this very complex scaled creature, black and yellow design, looked like a dragon, very impressive design, very interesting creature. I'm used to seeing stuff like that in a zoo, and it was a few feet away from me, and I almost walked in it. And so that was fascinating to like the framework slapped me in the face of like, oh wait a minute, your lack of awareness almost walked you into a snake, which would not have been good.
That ties into something I've been thinking about all the fucking time lately, which is thinking about reality as a Banks character. Where it's like, if you're a character in a Banks novel, then um, is every single thing is the risk to kill you at all points in time. Like, your environment is not a narrative, comfy little place where the good guy wins and the bad guy loses. It is just like our reality, where it's like you can be the most righteous, intelligent person of all time, but if you don't watch where you place your feet walking down the stairs, you're going to split your skull open and none of it's going to matter at all. So it's like every little action counts just as much as those major, grandiose actions. Because the weight is the exact same. Your death is a possibility in every single second of your life, and it's like thinking about that and thinking about the like those insane high stakes situations, um, and thinking about how like if I was in those situations, that my only choice would be to, in the same way like when the cops come to my house, my only choice is to lock the fuck in. Like there's no other room for anything else. What you have to do is just lock the fuck in and appreciate it. Like there can't be any part of you that's hesitant. This ties into what I was saying with like the liar, how like the serial killer or whatever, or even just like the liar, if you're like trying to lie to your parents to go to the movies or whatever. Like any good liar, their lie is predicated on their belief of it, and what that actually means, obviously, is not that the liar believes their lies, but it's that at all points in time, their response and their body language is exactly that of someone who would believe it. Like literally the things that are the liar is thinking. The liar is not thinking, "Oh, I should say this because this backs up my lie." The liar is thinking only about staying within the boundaries of their own stories at all times and then giving the exact response that they would give on a normal day. So the liar is focused on making their body language like if they would be annoyed on any other day at that question, the liar is focused on being just as annoyed that day. Whereas the bad liar, the one who fails, would instead focus on what the best possible lie would be, and then they would dig themselves into a massive hole because they would give a million excuses, and they'd be acting way nicer than normal because they don't want the person to ask questions. But when you're a normal person, then you don't care if someone asks questions. You just want them to shut the fuck up and get out of your face. So it's like that is all of that wraps into the same exact thing, which is just like the person who executes, or even like in a UFC fight, right? If you're in a UFC fight and then you're thinking about, oh, if only I could hit the 1-2, skipperoo and do a backflip onto him whenever he hits the timing for the 1-2, you know what I mean? It's like thinking about that is going to get you absolutely nowhere. What you have to do is you have to be in the exact moment, appreciating every little nuance of the fight, and enjoying it. And only the one who can enjoy it, even enjoying losing, only that person is capable of escaping that event horizon and coming back for the win. Only that person is capable of that flow state, which is embodied in every highlight reel KO, every dominating performance, right? Sean Strickland, when he was in that fight, there was no part of him that was over analyzing Izzy's every individual movement and thinking about breaking down his style, and yet what it resulted in was a complete and total beat down for 5 rounds, where he had no ability, Israel had no ability to counter because Sean was just in the moment, completely flowing, completely reacting to exactly what Izzy was doing. So he could never even get enough time to throw a fucking strike, right? And so all of that ties into that concept that you were just talking about, which is like, to me, like I said, the way I think about it is like a Banks novel, where it's like these Banks characters, if they spend 1 second not appreciating, if they spend 1 second thinking about why they're here or what they're doing, 1 second thinking about maybe they should go home, well then they're dead. There's no second chance. There's no moment for hesitation. And the way I thought about what you, when you were just talking, which I think is interesting, is I thought about the old humanity. Like everyone used to have to live in the moment because everyone used to have to worry about a rattlesnake. So like people were probably significantly happier because they had the threat of death, which sounds hilarious because like, man, if I think about almost being eaten by a mountain lion every day, like if I think about that threat looming over my head every time I go out to fucking pick berries, that sounds horrific. That sounds like a horrible thing for the average everyday experience. But in all actuality, what that does is it basically makes you vividly aware of like the countdown to your death in a way that most of us Westerners are not, and so we rot. And that leads to like a heightened awareness in every given situation. Basically, it leads to a feedback loop where you have to be so focused on like not letting your mind get in the way of tripping over a fucking rattlesnake that you never have time to sit and think about, in the way the conservatives would say, which they go way too retarded with this. Like, the sissy liberals wouldn't have time to think about being a girl if they had a fucking rattlesnake to step on. But it's like, I mean, the actual, like, base version of that concept, though, is true, which is like, if we had the threat of death looming over us in a real way, then we would probably appreciate every given second of our life a
No,
lot more because we'd have to. Go ahead.
absolutely. And it's funny because like that thing, that exactly what you're talking about, the idea of the old world back in the day, a rattlesnake could be hiding behind the tree. That was like, those were the frameworks that were rushing into my head afterwards, where like, as I was walking, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So behind every leaf, every tree, every branch, there could be something there. And if I didn't have a hospital or a car back to get home, then this is my home. It's just like, so literally any micro moment, something can come out and get me. And so I need to be aware of literally everything. I need to have that hyper awareness. And it was maybe reflecting on just like the idea of like possibilities. Like this world is just a world of infinite possibilities. A snake could be behind this branch, it could be behind that one, or it could be behind none of them. And it's like you never know, and you have to always be constantly aware that it could happen. And you need to be like, all right, so if I'm having a thought right now, well, you can't be too caught up in that because, well, if there's a snake right there, then that'll get in your way.
You need to
And yeah, that
perfectly distribute awareness across all the mediums you're participating in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Very fascinating, and I appreciate the swamp dragon to teach me that lesson.
You betcha. Yeah, think about that. Seriously, think about that swamp dragon when you listen to Banks. And anyways, the reason I asked that question about your schedule in the first place was because I was going to say, start listening to Banks like right after you wake up. That way, if you don't get it done, early in the day, you can still do it later. But like obviously later in the day, we call pretty much every night now. So it's like, start trying to
That'd be
wake up.
fascinating to wake up into the book and be like, I'm waking up more into this book than I am of this world.
Yeah, that is not a bad way to do it at all. But while you're doing that, just make sure you're not so tired that you can't keep up with what's going on. The books aren't bad for that though. I mean, you can kind of lose track of what's going on and still like and enjoy and get everything you need to out of the book. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, if you like that, if you find that that's a good if that's a good way to enjoy the book, I would absolutely do that. Wake up, maybe do a wake and bake, and then instantly jump into Banks. And then, like I said, the whole time, like maybe write this down. Maybe I'll text it to you or something. Yeah. I'll text you. The whole time you're reading Banks, think about that rattlesnake because that is the situation these characters are in, as you will very, very quickly find out. Banks' world is a fucking meat grinder. No one comes out unscathed. Okay. I'm just gonna say rattlesnake Banks. I think that's enough to remember it. Hello.
Hell.
I just put rattlesnake Banks in the chat. I think that's enough to remember.
All right.
But so yeah, wake up tomorrow morning and hit the first chapter. And then
Yes.
just kind of obviously don't like take notes or anything as you're doing. Like don't distract yourself. But just in general, sometime in that day afterwards, or if we call that night, give me your just general vague outline.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, we should probably stop and start recording again because we just spent like 30